Hey y'all, hey, Chris here once again, and welcome to another episode of Convos with Chris on a Tuesday. See, I got it right. So as you guys can see from the title, we are going to talk about something really special. I know I've been wanting to come on here to talk to you guys about it for a while, but it just slipped my mind. So now I said, you know what, I'm going to come on here and do that right here, right now. So let's hop right into it, shall we? All right, so today we're going to talk about why I decided to get baptized again at the age of 32. Before I even start the story, are you subscribed? No? Okay, well, go ahead and subscribe and make sure your notifications are on so that you never miss a post anytime that I post. And I also did a blog post about this, so if you aren't subscribed to my blog, what you doing, girl? Why not subscribe to the blog? You can hit the link down below. If you don't want to listen to me talk, you can click the link to read why I decided to get baptized again. But since you're here, you might as well listen to me talk. Why did I decide to get baptized again? Okay, just a little backstory. So I grew up in church. I went to church a lot, probably maybe 4-6 times out of the week. As I got older, I was very active in church. I was in Girl Scouts, I was in children's choir, youth choir, dance team, all of that. So I grew up in the church. Like, I love my church. Shout out to Gola. So I grew up in the church, and then when I turned 12, my mom signed me up for baptism. And to keep in mind, what 12-year-old at the time knows what that means? So I didn't know what it meant at the time, but I just knew that they were doing baptisms. My mom signed me up, and that was it. So before I got signed up, I remember seeing them do it. Like, I remember seeing them, you know, go to the pools, or to when we went to churches and stuff like that, you know, they dipped them in the water. You know, I don't know if you guys grew up in like black churches, but they usually have like the pool like in the back at the top, kind of like you would like walk up and then they'll baptize you. It's pretty cool, but I never knew exactly what that meant. So I did it. I got baptized, and that was that. So I've shared with you guys a few struggles that I've been through or whatever. I've only shared like a percentage of what I've been through, but just growing up, you know, as a kid, you go through certain things. You become a teen, you go through certain things, and you think as you become an adult, those things go away. Like the pain, the trauma and stuff just goes away miraculously. And it doesn't. And for me, it seemed like the older I got, the worse the trauma and pain got, just from some of the things I encountered or whatever. So like I said, I didn't know what being baptized meant, but I knew that I believed in Jesus. I believed in God and everything. So I read the Bible. You know, I was a virgin for so long, and you know, I knew God, but I didn't know God for myself. I just knew by what I was taught, and that was that. So in my adult years, I was just going through it. It just seemed like it was one thing after another. I didn't have no self-worth. Like, I would just cry out to Jesus, and it just felt like he wouldn't hear me. When I was in college, I did go to church. I found a church that a lot of people went to, but I like smaller churches because I went to a small church growing up. So I found a small church. I was an RA in college, and my residents, they would go to this small church, and I started going there. And there were times where I would go to church hungover and stuff like that. Like, it was just a mess. Like, I was a hot mess. So after my last suicide attempt, that's when I went back to church and gave my life to Christ. I gave my life back to Christ, but I didn't do the water baptism. It was more so of me pledging my life to God, and not the whole baptism and everything. So fast forward to now, as I'm older and everything, I realized that my priorities in life were changing for the better. My relationship with God started getting a little closer. Like I told y'all, I read my Bible every day. I read my devotions every day. Like, I'm very devoted to my relationship with God, because he was the one who saved me when nobody was there. Like, I try not to give anybody more credit than I give God, because God literally, like, if it was not for him, I would not have a second chance for life. If it was not for God, I would not be here right now. If it wasn't for God, I would not be in a healthy marriage, my beautiful kids. Like, God gets all the glory, the praise, all of that, okay? Although I share my love for God, I just felt like I wasn't sharing it enough, because God, like, he is so good, y'all. Like, he is so good. And I just feel like I don't share his goodness enough, you know, just out of fear of, like, girl, you over here being a Bible thumper, or girl, you remember what you used to do and did that. And it's like, you know, I don't care, because I'm not that person anymore, and I'm not where I used to be anymore. So honestly, I don't care. And of course, I know what I've done and where I've been, who I've done, and stuff like that. You don't have to rub it in my face, girl. Trust me, I know. You don't have to rub it in my face. You want to talk about it? You want to talk about it? Because we can talk about it, girl. But, you know, I'm not that same person that I was years ago. And I feel like I'm not that person because of God. And I wish that before all of this, I wish I had more confidence in sharing that, because, you know, there are people, there's like Real Talk Kim and, you know, Sarah Jakes Roberts, all these, you know, ministers and pastors, you know, they share their love for God. And I guess I just wish that I had that boldness to do that. But then it's like that insecurity, like, do I really want to share that? Because I, you know, like, just all these thoughts and stuff like that. So anywho, fast forward to now. In 2019, I said that I wanted to get baptized because we were going to a new decade. I was like, I want to just give my all to God. You know, he's been good to me. He's been good to us. If giving my life back to him as he's given to me, I want to do that for him. So then the pandemic hit in 2020. Obviously, that didn't happen. So this year I said that I wanted to do it again, but I didn't know how to go about it, because my church here is more non-denominational, and I grew up AME Zion. So I just didn't know, like, how they went about baptisms and everything. So then Pastor Mike from Transformation Church, you know, they started talking about baptisms, and just going through that series, it was just it was confirmation that I needed to do this. So I signed up at my church, but I haven't heard anything back. So in that moment, I just felt like, okay, Flood Sunday's coming, I should do it. But then I woke up with a migraine, because I had a migraine the day before, and I woke up with another migraine. And I remember asking the big guy to take me to urgent care, because it was just so unbearable. I didn't know what was going on, but I just felt in my spirit that I should not go. And the big guy was already getting ready, he was showering and everything, and I didn't go. So I told him, I was like, look, I feel in my spirit to just do this. I had to explain to him, because he's Catholic, and, you know, Catholics, they do it way differently than traditional baptisms in, you know, other churches and stuff. So at first he was a little hesitant, but then he noticed that I was serious about this. And so, you know, he stood around and everything. The kids, like, if you see the video on Instagram, like, it was not planned the way it was supposed to be planned. The kids were supposed to be outside of the pool. You know, we had a little inflatable pool from Sam's Club. I was supposed to be the only one in the pool. The big guy was gonna dip me and everything. Like, everything in that video was just so orchestrated by God, because I had no idea what was gonna come out of it. And to see my kids do the same as me, like, it was just mind-blowing. So I just felt this strongly to do it, and I did it. And I'm just so grateful. So now, what has changed since being baptized? Well, I mean, of course, I get tested. You know, that's just what the enemy does. He tries to test you, he tries to test your faith, and tries to get you off guard, because that's just his job, to steal, kill, and destroy. So, you know, I've been tested a little bit. And also, before I share that, with everything I was going through this year, you know, with the miscarriage, losing both my grandmas, having these anxiety and panic attacks and stuff like that, like, this year, starting this year was really hard for me. I'm not even gonna lie. Personally, it was hard for me. And I felt like I was losing faith. And one thing about me, even no matter what I go through, I always stay in faith. But it just seemed like with everything happening all at once, I started losing faith. And that's another reason why I started feeling in my spirit to do the baptism, because I wanted to just give it all to him. My anxiety, my worries, my fears, my lack of faith, you know, my disobedience, my rebellion. I just wanted to give it to him, just wash myself of those things and just give it to him. So now, like I said, I've just been tested in my faith and everything, but I'm just staying planted. You know, like, yes, there are things that I want to do. Yes, there are things I want to accomplish, places I want to go. And in a natural, it seems like, girl, that's not going to happen. Like, that is so far-fetched. Like, that's not going to happen. But me staying planted and trusting the timing and process of my journey, I feel in my spirit that it's going to happen. He said, if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you can talk to this mountain and tell it to move, get out the way, okay? So that's just where I've been staying planted and just reading more about the word. Like, I think if people read the word more, they will realize that, for one, nothing new is under the sun. Everything that's happening is nothing new. History is repeating itself. Everything, you know, in the last days, you know, people are like, oh my God, we're in the last days, so like that. And, you know, all of this is in the word, you know. As far as faith goes, it's in the word. You know, tribulations, you know, he said that we may grieve now, but we'll have a joy that cannot be explained, or weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Like, all of this stuff is in the word. And I feel like if people read the word more, they will be less prone to allow the world to stress them out and get to them. And that's where I'm at now, you know. And he just speaks so clearly to me, because before I would hear a voice, but I knew it was not from God. Like, God would not tell me to do something bad or wrong and then try to justify it. You know, like, he would not tell me to stay in a dysfunctional relationship. Why would he say, oh, well, he's gonna change, so just stick with it for like 6 months, and then 6 months come and he doesn't change? You know, like, God would not allow negative things to happen to us in a sense. So some things are out of our control, but the things that we can control is why some of us cause havoc in our own lives. Because remember, he gives us the free will to do whatever, to say whatever, but with that free will comes consequences. So yes, we can go date, do whatever, do whoever, it's like that, but there's always a consequence for sex before marriage, you know. We can go and, you know, buy a new house with $50 in our bank, you know, that's mustard seed faith, but there's going to be a consequence after that. So it's all about just hearing that discernment. You know, I feel like we all are blessed with the spirit of discernment, but we have to do our part to make sure that it's God and not the lies of the enemy. Because if it's wrong, or it's negative, or it's bad, and it's going to lead you in the wrong direction, obviously it's the lies of the enemy. But if it's gentle and peaceful and convicting, if it's convicting, that's the thing. Because like I said, he gives us the free will, but he also gives us a choice. And if we don't abide by that choice to not do the wrong thing, then we're good. But when we do the opposite of what he's convicted us not to do, then that's why we cause havoc in our lives. And so now I just don't want to bring additional havoc in my life because I'm being disobedient. Because one thing I've learned is partial obedience is still disobedience. So yeah, you can like halfway do what God has called you to do, but it's still disobedience. He wants you to go all out. You know, you may not know what the next step is. You may not know what the next calling is. You may not know, but he just wants you just to go all in, be obedient. And that's one thing I'm working on, because I feel like I've been very disobedient. I really haven't stepped into the calling of my life. Because my calling is, so my purpose for my brand is to enlighten, empower, and entertain women through my life, my style, and my journey through motherhood. That's for my brand. But my calling that I love to do is to encourage people, is to heal people, is to help people. I've always been a person to help those in need, and not from a homeless standpoint, but you need something, if I got it, I got you. You know, if it's a prayer, I got you. If it's a penny, I got you. If it's a ride, I got you. I've always been an I got you type of person, and from that, it has motivated me to want to help people. And that's why I'm sharing this, because I want people to not want to live a life of uncertainty or of disobedience, because that's what the world's doing. That just seems to be the norm in the world. A lot of people in the world are not even walking in their purpose. They're not walking in their calling. They're just doing what the flesh is telling them to do, and then they wonder why they're not satisfied, why they're not happy. They're trying to satisfy everybody else but not satisfy God. He said he does immeasurably more than we could ever ask. He said that he'll never leave us nor forsake us, you know, to be content with what we have, because never will he leave us nor forsake us. You know, he will provide all that we need. But a lot of us are out of alignment, and I feel like for so long I've been out of alignment because I want to make my mom happy, or I want to make this person happy, or I want to do what the world says. And it's just like, girl, just stop. Just surrender. Just surrender and give it to God. Especially like with this influencer blogging journeys like that. It's like, okay, you know, all the mom bloggers are doing this, or all the influencers are doing that, or, you know, I got to buy this course, you know, and this, the guy just says surrender. Surrender. You know, I got you. You may not want to do this, but this is what I've called you to do. And if you just go full out in, I got you. He wants us to know that he's got us, but we have to be obedient. So I guess this baptism has opened my eyes to just be more obedient, be more in touch with the word, because I'm telling y'all, like, people will, the word is amazing, you know. That's why I read it every day, because every time I read a verse, it's so convicting, and I'm just like, yo, that's what's happening, right? Oh, it's mind-blowing. Like, if people would just read the Bible and stop reading stuff on Instagram and stop reading devotions, it's like, they're not saying don't read devotions, please read devotion, but read the verse first. Remember, that devotion comes from a verse in that Bible. Okay, so the meditation or the devotion that you're reading, it's coming from somewhere, it's stemming from somewhere, and it's stemming from a verse in the Holy Bible. So don't lose sight of this word, okay? Like I said, try not to be a Bible thumper and all that, but one thing about me, that's why I feel like this is happening for a reason, because I don't share my love for God enough. And I guess it's because of that uncertainty, like, oh my God, will people like me still? Or will they hate me? Or think I'm being funny? Or think I'm too religious now? No, I'm not religious, honey. Like, trust me. Like, religious people make me cringe, okay? But one thing I'm not going to shy away from is my love for God. Without God, I am nothing. Without God, I can't love people, because there are some people that I should not even forgive, honey. Oh, I'm telling you. But my love for God and the image of Jesus that lives within me, it's like I cannot not forgive you. It's like I have to, because Jesus lives in me. His spirit, Holy Spirit, lives within me. If God forgives and he loves people, he helps people, I want that. I want that good fruit. I want my fruit to shine through my actions. So it's like, I don't necessarily have to tell you I love God. You can just see God's love through me. If I see you have potential and I see you like kind of going off the wayside, I'm gonna tell you, because I know how it is to just go the wrong way, and God is trying to get your attention, but you're too caught up in the world and just the temptations that you lose sight of where God is trying to take you. And sometimes God doesn't take us where we want, because he's protecting us from the hell that is ahead. Okay? And not talking about down there, but speaking on that, I don't know about y'all, but living here in Texas, if it's hot here, I don't know how I'm gonna feel going down there, okay? So I need to make sure my life is all together so I can go up there where the air conditioning is, okay? Because it is hot and I know I just ain't got time, y'all. So I love that I did that. I feel like God has just been opening so much to me. He's just been doing a new thing in my life. And although in a natural, it's like, okay, I mean, I have the job I want. I mean, I have all the money that I've been praying for, whatever the case is, but I have him. I have my family. I have peace. I'm in a peaceful and healthy marriage with beautiful kids. You know, he provides even when I don't even ask. It's like he just comes through, you know, and his grace is so sufficient, because sometimes I do fall short, you know. I'm not the perfect Christian, and I truly do not try to be, okay? Y'all, one thing about me, I try my best to not be perfect, because I'm not. And I'm okay with that. I'm not the perfect mom, not the perfect wife, not the perfect woman, but I strive to be the best. I strive to be my best, because I know that there's an energy in me that pushes me to be my best. And I just have to do the internal work every single day to make sure that I'm giving my best, making sure that I have good fruit in my heart, because I know how it is to have rage, bitterness, jealousy, the bad fruit. I know that. Trust me, I know how it is to have bad fruit in our spirit. But I want the good fruit. I want love, joy, kindness, peace. I want the good fruit. And that's why I want to share this, because I just feel like we all have the potential and we have the will, the free will to get that salvation, to get the forgiveness, to get this good fruit. We all have the free will, but are you willing to ask for it? Are you willing to give your old self to get your new self? You know? Leave the gossip alone. Leave the toxic relationships alone. It's not good. It's not healthy. And that's what I'm saying. When I see people with potential that could do better and they don't, it makes me cringe. And I'm like, okay, God, we gonna have to, I may not can talk sense into her, but I'm gonna pray for her. And that's all I can do. And I've seen it happen. I've seen it work. So I say all that to say, that's why I got baptized, because I just felt in my spirit it was just the right time. My friend, she actually noticed that I got baptized when I was 12. I gave my life back to Christ at 22, and then I fully decided on my own to get baptized again at 32. And I'm just like, mind blown. So timing, God's timing is everything, y'all. So hopefully this will encourage you. Let me know if you've been baptized or if you plan to get baptized. And like I said, it's not to be perfect. It's not to be somebody that you're not, to be super religious, but it's for that relationship with God. Like, we all should have a relationship with him, because it's such a beautiful thing. Like, I just sit in my car sometimes and I just cry out to God, because I know nobody else will understand. I can't talk to my husband or my kids about how I feel at times. So I just give it to God, and he just makes it all better. So yeah, so if you guys would like another video of me like sharing like my Bible devotions I use, or whatever the case may be, let me know. And I'm just excited about this journey. I'm nervous because, like I said, you know, to be a new creation, it's like, oh jeez, you know, you just don't know. And you know, like I said, sometimes I fall short, but I get back up and I just keep going. And like Pastor Kim always says, robbers don't rob empty houses. So if there's not anything in you that is triggering them, they're not gonna come for you. If you wouldn't be going through these attacks and all that if there was not a calling on your life, because even they hated Jesus. How you gonna hate somebody that does great things for people? Like, where they do that at? How y'all hating on Jesus? Like, Jesus was the man. This man cleaned people's feet. Like, I don't even like clean my own feet sometimes. Like, I be cringing when I go to get my toes and I'm like, girl, whoo, they raggedy. But Jesus was washing people's feet, honey, and they still hated the man house away. But that's just that calling on your life, so it is what it is. All right, you guys, I talked long enough, so I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Give it a big thumbs up and let me know if you guys would like to see any other video pertaining to this, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. Peace.